CNBC TV 18, celebrating 15 years of leadership.
It will reduce the power cost for the consumers.
If someone still wants to bid aggressively, what can you and I do?
The fierce bidding war at the coal auction takes the government by surprise, but the coal minister and the secretary assert that power tariffs will not go up post the auctions. 80 coal mines will be auctioned before the end of this fiscal.
Jindal Steel and Power is the big winner in the auction today. The company retains two of the richest coal blocks on offer for the lowest price seen in the auction so far. Stock skyrockets in trade.
The competition watchdog waves the green flag to Ajay Singh's plans to acquire majority stake in Spicejet. Speaking exclusively to CNBC TV 18, Singh says the first tranche of 400 crore rupees will come in next week and the second tranche by the end of March.
Delhi police arrest 5 people, including 2 oil ministry officials and a Reliance Industries employee, for allegedly leaking sensitive information. Oil minister promises strict action. Reliance, meanwhile, undertakes an internal probe and assures cooperation with the police.
Big ticket deals on day 2 of the Aero India Air Show. Kalyani Group inks a joint venture with Israel's Rafael, the first major joint venture after the government hiked defense FDI limit to 49%, also wins a multi-year contract from Boeing.
Government all set to take yet another step to facilitate the goods and services tax. Mulls a service tax hike in the upcoming budget and gradual hikes thereafter. States will have the power to levy service tax under the GST regime. That's an exclusive.
A rollercoaster ride on the Lal Street. A late recovery helps the markets end a volatile session with healthy gains. The Nifty flirts with 8,900.
Your wallets may not get any fatter this year. A survey conducted by Aon Hewitt pegs average salary hikes in 2015 at just 10.6%. That's similar to the hike seen in 2014.
Falling crude oil prices take its toll on Cain India. Sources say the company has laid off about 250 employees to keep expenses under check. That's another exclusive tonight.
And CNBC TV 18's budget caravan rolls on. We travel to rural hinterland in Madhya Pradesh to find out why the government's rural healthcare schemes are falling short.
It actually brings in a great sense of bonding among those who are confined during this period of budget making. FM just goes at the point in time when it is all ready and hot and, bubbling with ghee on the top. He stirs it with a ladle, formally takes a little katori and serves a sample full of the halwa. Serves it first to those people who are there in the underground kind of a setup. They really feel very touched and they are very emotionally sort of charged when they receive the halwa. This has been an unbroken customary exercise. It's a special 15 days for all those who are part of this budget printing exercise. And for them, for the FM to go and to give them this hot, little katori of halwa is definitely a very, very symbolic moment.
While it's getting closer and closer, less than 10 days to go for the union budget, the customary halwa ceremony took place today and almost the entire finance ministry will now be under a lockdown till the big day. They are going to be in the North Block over the next 15 days till we actually see the budget being revealed. Good evening. Thanks very much for joining us on India Business House. So we hope the halwa was sweet enough.
I wonder if
for the finance minister, it would have been sugar-free halwa.
I suppose, but I just wonder if it's going to take the sting or the bitterness out of some of those tax proposals we might hear of.
Well, prayers to the budget gods. We hopefully will see a sweet budget on the 28th of February. Budget talk in just a bit, but first a quick check on the day's trading action. Now, it was a day of dramatic twists and turns on the Lal Street. Markets rising at open, falling on midday, only to stage a dramatic recovery in the last few minutes. After all the drama, the Sensex ending higher higher by 140 points. The Nifty gained about 25 points, ending just shy of that 8,900 mark. But let's talk about the star in trade today. It's day 6 of the coal block auctions, and Jindal Steel and Power has pulled off a coup. The company managing to retain 2 Gare Palma coal mines and then tweeted, "We won't give it back." And that is because the company is actually retaining its blocks. Now, why is the company so excited? Because they've managed to keep the richest coal mines with themselves at the lowest price paid so far in the auction. The stock skyrocketed in trade today as JSPL will pay just 1/10 of the price that SR paid yesterday for a power sector mine in Jharkhand. Another block in Madhya Pradesh is also up for grabs today. Anshu joins us now with the details. Anshu, the story today is Jindal Power. The stock up 26% today on the back of that coup that they've managed to pull off in the auction.
Because Jindal Power was the prior lottee for this Gare Palma 4x2 and 3 coal block, and it has won at 108 rupees per ton, which is lowest for the forward bidding in the power sector. The 5 major players were, 3 bids were from the Jindal Power, 1 from GMR, 1 from Adani Power, but still Jindal Power managed this block. This block was for the Jindal Power's Tamnar project, for which the company has said that they have acquired more power purchase agreements from Karnataka and Tamil Nadu. On the question whether power tariffs will move or not, as per Coal Ministry government officials, they say that in forward bidding there will be no change in electricity tariff at all, but if in the reverse bidding, with every 100 rupees there will be a power tariff reduction by 6 paisa. On the second coal block, which is still running for the auction, it is Bicharpur coal block, which is for the steel sector. It is still running around 3,000 rupees per ton. It opened at 1,485 rupees per ton, and some of the major players for this are ACC Cement, Birla Corporation, Hindustan Zinc, Hindalco, Ultratech Cements, JP Cements, amongst other. Back to you.
All right, Anshu, appreciate you joining us. So the big winner today in the coal block auction on day 6, JSPL retaining its blocks at the lowest price bid out so far in the auction, and these are the 2 of the richest mines on the block. Now, the extremely aggressive bidding has taken even the government by surprise. Speaking exclusively to CNBC TV 18, Coal Secretary Anil Swarup said that the government is working on ensuring that the fierce bidding does not result in a sharp spike in tariffs. He's also assured companies engaged in the auction that Coal India will produce more than 500 metric tons of coal this fiscal year. Listen in.
Now we are looking at more than 80 blocks before 31st of March. So that's quite a huge number before 31st of March. And I would like to assure the industry that more and more blocks will be offered even thereafter. So I don't think there is any reason for them to bid aggressively on this count. If they are bidding aggressively on some other count, I can't say that. But as far as availability of blocks are concerned, there will be sufficient number of blocks. We are making a lot of effort to see that the Coal India production still, in itself gets ramped up. This year we are seeing a record production. We are already ahead by more than 7% over last year, and we are hopeful that we'll cross 500 million tons this year. You know, the problem is that if there is lesser bidding, you ask a question that why is the government losing money? I raised this point earlier also. Now that the government is getting more money, everyone is again getting concerned. We are trying our best to ensure, and I'd like to repeat, we'd like to ensure that the tariffs don't go up. I have announced that in the past. If someone still wants to bid aggressively, what can you and I do?
And that was the Coal Secretary. Coal Minister Piyush Goyal, meanwhile, is also delighted at the progress of the auction so far. CNBC TV 18's Anshu Sharma caught up with the Minister and began by asking him for his take on the successful auctions.
This has set the tone and has helped us now plan for the next level of auctions, both in coal and in other minerals. I'm very delighted at the response. I'm delighted that there was free and fair competition. Of course, there's been very good bidding, but that's because these are ready mines. As we move into the phase of incomplete or still not ready to operate mines, obviously the prices will correct themselves. But all in all, I'm extremely delighted at the success of the auction.
So what are your expectations from the Schedule 3 mines and for the states? Because states will be getting richer by this auction.
The 3 good things about this. A, it's been transparent and honest. B, It will provide fuel to all sectors, be it power, be it the non-regulated sectors like steel, cement, aluminium, zinc, and help all of them to start producing, increase the economic activity, resolve the bank's NPAs. Look at the colossal loss the nation was facing because of the illegal and arbitrary allotments, particularly of the last 4-5 years. And the third big dimension, it will reduce the power cost for the consumers, simultaneously giving lakhs of crores to Eastern India, to West Bengal, to Orissa, to Chhattisgarh, to Jharkhand, states which have over the years remained deprived of economic welfare.
Well, that's the Coal and Power Minister Piyush Goyal. Successful auctions, state governments hope to make a lot of money at the end of this, and today clearly the star was JSPL. Now the big corporate story, the competition watchdog has waved the green flag for Ajay Singh's return to Spicejet. The CCI has approved Singh's plans to acquire a majority stake in the cash-strapped airline. This paves the way for about 400 crore rupees to be infused into the airline immediately. Singh is planning to pump in about 1,500 crore rupees, and speaking exclusively to me just a short while ago, he said the first tranche of the funds will come in as early as next week, and the second tranche will be infused by the end of March. Singh also said that he expects the Marans to transfer their shares in a day or two. Listen in.
I received a communication from the Competition Commission of India clearing the acquisition of Mr. Maran's holding in Spicejet, and we received it.
Okay, You've received the intimation from the CCI this evening clearing Spicejet's revival plan. What does this mean now, sir, in terms of the 400 crore rupees that we understand will be infused immediately into the airline? How soon is that money likely to come in?
That money is likely to come in the next 2 or 3 days. So, basically we were waiting for the CCI approval to come in. Post that approval coming in, there will be a transfer of shares from Mr. Maran to myself, which should take, perhaps tomorrow and the day after. And then we expect that the money should come in on Monday or latest on Tuesday.
Okay, you're saying 400 crores should be infused by Monday or latest by Tuesday. You know, the last conversation we had, Mr. Singh, you said that you would not be able to share the details because you were waiting for approvals from various regulators. You've got the Civil Aviation Ministry's nod, and now you've got the CCI's nod. Can you share with us details, sir, on the consortium that is backing your revival plans for Spicejet? Who are the investors who are partnering with you?
I don't want to share those details at the moment, but we will share them next week as the funds start flowing into the company.
Sir, can I also ask you now, as far as clarity on the open offer is concerned, because that continues to be a grey area. Is it now clear that you don't need to make an open offer? Have you got that clarity from the market regulator?
Well, we have, our legal advice says that we don't have to make an open offer, and that's what we are going by.
But has there been any communication between the market regulator and yourself on this issue?
There's been no communication with the market regulator on this issue, but there are certain provisions in the SEBI Act which exempt an open offer, and as per legal advice, we fall within the purview of those provisions, and therefore our legal advice is that we are not required to make an open offer.
But has that been the communication of the Civil Aviation Ministry as well? Because as per your scheme of arrangement, we are given to understand that it's the Civil Aviation Ministry that acts as the competent authority. So being the competent authority, has the Civil Aviation Ministry also given the go-ahead that you will not need to make an open offer, sir?
They don't have to give any such intimation to us. They are required to clear or approve a scheme of revival and reconstruction, which they have done.
Mr. Singh, you're infusing about 400 crore rupees as early as next week, but the quantum that you had proposed in that revival plan, I'm given to understand, was 1,500 crore rupees. So when do we see the next tranche coming in?
The next tranche is proposed for the end of March, and that forms a part of the scheme that we had presented to the government.
Well, that's Ajay Singh saying that they have been given the approval of the competition watchdog, and that paves the way for the fund infusion of 400 crore rupees by Monday or Tuesday, and the next tranche will come in by the end of March, and then post that, April. So it's a 3-tranche infusion that Ajay Singh and the consortium, he doesn't give us details of the consortium, but the consortium is looking to make into Spicejet. Well, Subri, let's talk about the other big story today. The crime branch of the Delhi police are learned to have arrested 5 people for allegedly leaking sensitive and confidential information from the Petroleum Ministry to interested parties. These 5 people include low-ranking government officials who are currently being questioned. The arrests come after the police set a trap at the Petroleum Ministry in Shastri Bhavan. An employee of Reliance Industries is among those being detained for questioning. A company spokesperson says that while the company is unaware of any more details, it has instituted an internal probe to look into the matter. The spokesperson also says Reliance Industries will cooperate with the authorities in every possible manner. Remember, Reliance is already in international arbitration with the Oil Ministry and says its only expectation is a fair and expeditious resolution of its legal rights and contentions by the arbitrators. The authorities say any persons accused in the matter will be charged under the Official Secrets Act.
This kind of thing are unfortunate. Since some months we have our surveillance on this kind of thing. Something came out in the public domain. Police is investigating. Government is very strict on all such things.
On the basis of preliminary investigation, we can say that these documents had been obtained by certain independent energy consultants who were operating in the field of energy, and similarly certain companies which have been operating in the field of energy.
Standard disclaimer here, Reliance Industries holds the management control of Network 18, the group which runs CNBC TV 18. All right, let's now move to Bengaluru, Shireen, where all the action was on day 2 of Aero India.
Well, absolutely, and plenty of action. In fact, our colleagues are in the thick of it. Manohar Parrikar made fresh assurances to investors with the aim to incentivize manufacturing in India. The minister has promised to review the current offsets regime, compress procurement timelines and provide a redressal system. Rituparna Bhuyan and Purnima Murli get you more.
I am on board the Bell 407GX at Aero India, and day 2 of this event started with a big bang announcement. In keeping with the spirit of Make in India, the Kalyani Group today announced the 4951 JV with Israeli weapons manufacturer Rafael. Chairman of the Kalyani Group, Baba Kalyani, says that the group's defense portfolio will be the best lever going forward.
There's a lot of mechanical components manufacturing. I think this is what we will bring in. The entire technology, electronics, radars, lasers, missiles, that is what Rafael will bring in. Now, I don't think any major orders have been given out by the Ministry of Defense. I think it's all in the process. So what we supply today is very small. But I think, if you hear everything that's going on at the policy level, at the government level, the opportunities are very large.
While the Kalyani Group has found a foreign partner, many prominent weapons manufacturers are exploring potential joint ventures in India. Some of them want clarity on the FDI cap of 49%.
On this radar facility I mentioned, we are engaged in advanced discussion with a major Indian firm, Larsen & Toubro, to do this as part of a joint venture. It will be an Indian company with Airbus technology. The same thing is true with the Tata Group on the Avro replacement.
Looking a bit further into the discussions about FDI, which is currently fixed at 49%, obviously as time goes by, we'd perhaps like to see that percentage increased. Because obviously for a foreign company to invest in India, we need to feel some sense of control of our investment. So, ideally, we'd like to have a majority investment in a joint venture, for example, which would allow a foreign company like MBDAs to have a little bit more security in its investment.
After speaking to foreign companies participating in Aero India 2015, one thing is fairly clear, that their views on the Indian market has changed. From being a supplier of weapons, they now want to partner with Indian SMEs and make them part of their global supply chain. But of course, for that to happen, the Indian government will have to step in and announce a more friendlier defense procurement policy.
We've been promoting the M777 lightweight howitzer for a while here. It's a fabulous product. It's the world's best lightweight Howitzer air transportable, and we've made an offer to the government of India. It has a fabulous offset offer where we'll be working with 40 Indian small companies to help them.
While military suppliers are gung-ho about the Indian market, civilian aircraft manufacturers are not behind. Sukhoi, which made a foray into the civilian aircraft market in 2007, is in talks with Indian carriers for supplying their 100-seater aircrafts. Moreover, they also plan to outsource component manufacturing to Indian SMEs.
We are seriously contemplating the same opportunities in the civil one. We've been already in contact and in talks with a number of Indian companies which have established a very strong presence and expertise in supplying or sub-supplying components for aerospace industry worldwide.
Well, so it's looking good there at the Aero India Air Show. A lot of companies looking at inking joint ventures. You just heard Airbus talking about joint ventures with L&T. And of course, today we saw the Kalyani Group ink a joint venture with the Rafael air defense systems. Apart from the deal with Rafael, Baba Kalyani's Bharat Forge, that's the listed entity, has signed a multi-year contract with commercial airplane maker Boeing. The company will supply titanium forgings for wing components of Boeing 737 and 737 MAX, and the stock was higher by almost 2% on the back of that. Now, Budget 2015 is around the corner, and we continue to track what Finance Minister Arun Jaitley might have in store. CNBC TV 18 exclusively learns that the government is mulling a hike in the service tax rate. Sapna joins us now with the details. Sapna, we don't know whether a hike will come through or not finally, because that's a political call, but a hike does indeed make sense if this government wants to go through with the GST in 2016.
Well, it may be possible that there could be some upward pressure on the service tax rate in the new financial. The logic and the rationale here is that the government intends to move towards the goods and service tax by April 1, 2016. Keeping that in mind and the fact that the states don't levy a service tax as of now, but they'll have the power to do that. The indications are that the actual service tax rate will move up to around 16 to 18%. The government cannot hike the service tax rate in one go. It will be too bitter for the consumers. So keeping the fact that the consumers will have to be cushioned, it may be possible the government may mull on a gradual increase in the service tax rate. Even a 2% hike in the rate roughly translates into 30,000 crore of revenue gain for the exchequer, which will be most welcome. But this is an important policy call that the Modi government will have to take. Possibly the coming budget offers one of the window of opportunities for them to do so, because any kind of a change in the service tax rate will have to come through via an amendment to the Finance Act.
All right, Sapna, thanks so much for that. So let's watch out for that possible service tax hike. But moving on now, the Modi government is looking to put in place what has been in discussion for years, making health a fundamental right for every Indian through its National Health Assurance Program. As Budget 2015 draws near, CNBC TV 18's Budget Caravan travels to rural Madhya Pradesh and finds out that allocating more money to healthcare is perhaps only the first step in achieving that aim.
Aditya Birla Group presents Budget 2015, the Make in India budget.
This is an infusion set which has expired. Harilal is a troubled man. He got his pregnant daughter-in-law for a maternity consultation to this community health center, traveling almost 10 kilometers, only to find the clinic closed. Sarita in her last trimester says she has little option but to travel again for a checkup. Most patients we met here had traveled more than 10 kilometers to seek primary health services. Koi doctor nahi aata hai wahan. This health center in Sihor district perhaps reflects two of the biggest shortcomings plaguing the rural healthcare system: lack of adequate infrastructure and shortage of medical staff. The X-ray unit in this center is shut for the last 1.5 years, since the time the last technician retired, and that post has been lying vacant. Since the UPA government's flagship program, National Rural Health Mission, was launched in 2005, the government has spent a little over 1 lakh crore rupees in building infrastructure and manpower. However, a look at some national-level statistics reveals what a daunting task lies ahead. As of 2014, more than 6,300 posts of doctors at PHCs lie vacant. 7,300 posts of specialists, almost 64% of those sanctioned, are also empty. Madhya Pradesh's record is much worse. However, the state government officials that we spoke to remained adamant.
So you're saying 90%?
I tell you officially, 98% of our posts are filled.
Of required posts, which
sanctioned
posts are filled.
Yes.
Claims which turned out to be hollow on the ground as we continued on our journey through rural Madhya Pradesh. This sprawling community health centre in Doraha, about 20 kilometers from Shampur, was built a year ago, but remains largely underutilized.
पर यहाँ पर रिक्वायरमेंट कितने डॉक्टर्स की है?
रिक्वायरमेंट्स तो वैसे हमारे पास जो लिस्ट है इसमें 5-6 डॉक्टरों की पोस्ट है, पर अभी कोई नहीं है.
It is these inefficiencies which have pushed an estimated 61% of rural patients towards private healthcare providers, a concern the Modi government's National Health Assurance Program aims to address by providing universal access to health. But only providing infrastructure will not help. This sub-health centre in Charnal told us why.
This is the labour room of this sub-health centre where most of the deliveries happen. And if you see, most of the equipments have passed their expiry date. This is an infusion set which has passed its expiry last year in October. January 2015. It's an intrauterine contraceptive device, 2013. This is a mucus extractor. It has passed its expiry in October 2014. A scalp vein set, it has passed its expiry in November 2012. We are told just 3 days back there was a delivery in this very room.
At present, India's spend on healthcare is a mere 1% of its GDP. Even as the Modi government aims to increase health expenditure to 2.5% of GDP by 2017, monitoring the quality of healthcare and ensuring availability of trained manpower is key to making universal healthcare a true success. With camera person Bhaskar Savan, Archana Shukla.
Well, that is the sad and shocking truth. We talk about India's aspirations of being a global economic superpower, and that's the reality that this government has to contend with. And I really hope that something is done about the healthcare spends and improving the efficiency within the healthcare system, because that just cannot go on. On that note, it's time for us to wrap up this edition of India Business Hour. Thanks very much for watching. Thank you.